100th and I want to say 5th season. Am I right, Jesse? 105, 106.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit off. It's been a long time.
I have not been the head coach for all of those.
No, surprisingly not. If anything, you have the whole Benjamin Button thing going on. You're like aging backwards, as you can tell.
Peter Pan.
Another fantastic season on the Hilltop coming up. Number 17 for this young gentleman over here, Coach Andre Cook, the former D2 National Coach of the Year back in 2018, 2019. The reason I bring that up is because Ashton Spears had like one of my Instagrams, and I was just like, oh man, that team always near and dear in our hearts.
Yeah.
But it looks like you have another team, though, that can make another run this season. As you guys, man, what a run last year. It was a roller coaster from the very beginning to the very end, but you guys hit a terrific run at the end and found a way to go dancing.
Yeah, I was, last year was, I was super proud of the guys, of game 2, Blake, our best player tears his ACL. Nothing was going our way. We were 5-6 in the league.
Yeah.
We were 11-9 overall. You called the buzzer shot of UTPB.
Yeah.
And you were here and how crushing that was. And for our guys to hang in there when things weren't going great and to win 10 of our next 12, beat West Texas at West Texas, beat St. Mary's 3 times.
In a row?
Yeah, in a row, within 9 days. To win at TAMU, to win at Kingsville, and I'm missing some, but it was just what a great run, and to get in the NCAA tournament, I feel like we exhaled a little bit when we knew we were in and didn't play our best in the NCAA tournament. But I was proud of obviously Gavino as a senior captain and everything that he went through last year, and to finish out on that high was amazing.
Yeah, and now he's going to be back for another run in the sense on your sideline, part of your coaching staff,
Yeah.
which is all new as well this season, other
Yeah.
changes. How has that affected you as a head coach? I know that you've had a lot of different assistants throughout the time, and if anything, they get to go on to greener pastures and get to take care of programs of their own. I know a couple of your ex-coaches, like Trey Lindsay, he's
Trey Lindsay's talked to him today.
Yeah,
Head coach
college
at
ranks.
Loyola.
Yeah,
it's
so
great. And his assistant is Daniel Vinzant.
Yeah, the former point guard.
Who you have seen, and Cooper and Taylor Land won state championships this year, former assistants. And Taylor's obviously an alum. I had some guys in New York, Sean Coffey and Eric Husel are doing great. So I love that. Marwan is at Trinity. A lot of great stuff. And our new staff this year with Nelson Taroba is a longtime friend of mine and an elite basketball mind. Several years coaching professionally in the G League with the Legends.
Yeah.
As a head coach in Canada, was at Rice last year, and to get him to come back to Austin and be with us is really outstanding. And Gavino and Frankie, Gavino, obviously, we could talk about Gavino all day.
Of course.
Having him back is great. And Frankie, my closest, dearest friend back in New York of over 40 years.
Oh, wow.
Is his dad.
Yeah.
And Frank is just, I've known him literally since the day he's been born.
Wow.
And he is an awesome kid. And so we have a great staff. I'm excited about it. And we're looking forward to getting on the court on Thursday.
Oh, I know, definitely so. I mean, again, you still have to integrate some new faces.
Yeah.
I mean, highly talented freshman that you have
Yep.
in Riley coming on board this year.
Yeah,
So.
Ryder
Ryder,
Bradley.
excuse me.
Yeah, you can buy him.
I can
Ryder
buy him.
Bradley.
I'm hoping that he can have the same impact that Sam McKinney had last season as a true freshman. I thought that was obviously he finished all freshman last season.
Yeah.
But that's not something that's typical in the Lone Star Conference, just because it's so hard to make that transition from high school basketball to like the epitome of D2 athletics in this country.
Yeah, and we'll just talk about Ryder. Ryder is local kid, Leander High School.
Yep.
Played
Lions.
for his dad, the Lions. Played for his dad. Is a great, a really high-level basketball coach himself. Ryder's been on the varsity for 4 years. He's had all the pressure on him. He's had the ball in his hands. And we want a Ryder right from day one. And, we feel, and I'm not trying to put pressure on the young man. We feel what a spot for him to be in. To Blake move to the point guard and have Blake and Gavino here to help him in this process. I think it's great for Ryder. And we're excited about him. We expect him to play. That's the expectation. We told him that right from the rip. We expect him to play for us and to help us win. And obviously Sam, another local mate that you brought him up, all freshman team last year. And Sam, probably has 7 points a game and played some big minutes for us. And again, we've talked about over the years. The majority of our roster is local. And I think that's a great boon. We can look out. Of all our guys from Austin, San Antonio, and that should be exciting for people to come to the games because they remember. Rob Conrad's a transfer for us. He's from Cedar Creek, not far from here.
Just down in Bastrop.
Right. Donovan Santoro was transferred from Wisconsin, Green Bay, and Providence. He went to Westlake. Right. So our guys and our freshmen, Chuck Jinkle. And obviously we talked about Ryder, along with George McCoy, along with Cole Frohart, and along with Max Filderman. These are good local guys, and we hope the stands are filled with people from this area.
Hopefully so, but I think that a lot of that is attributed to the success that you've had here while on the Hilltop, because you built the winning culture to where, hey, these guys now see, I don't necessarily have to get away from the Central Texas area. There's a nice home for me right here on the south side of Austin, Texas. And for those that do go away, it just might not be working out the way that they wanted to go. And, that's just life. It's like having a bad job. It's like, hey, there's a great landing spot where you can play high-level basketball and you're going to get a chance to go dancing more or less, and that's how it's been here for the last few seasons.
Right. And I mean, we have a great school. We're in the capital of Texas, Austin, eclectic, metropolitan, has so many, fashion, arts, music, everything.
There's something to do for everybody.
And then you come on the hilltop, on top of the hilltop, and it's quiet. And you just know, 2 miles down the road, you can see it, right? Look at all that action down here.
Yeah.
And then you play in this great Division II league in the Lone Star Conference, a great competition. And, obviously I'm biased. We love it, but there's so much positive and great things going on.
Well, the other thing too is the amenities that have continued to improve here on campus throughout our time here.
Yes.
I mean, I remember when this was just the RCC, and now it's the RAC. Ed Norris, Joe Beck Court, and to go along with the video board, with the bucket seats. So it's like now we start to have that big arena filled that came from the past teams that you coached. That Coach Real had coached, and everybody else that has competed here inside this gymnasium. That kind of built everything up to where it is now.
Yeah, and I give, Debbie Taylor was an institution here for, as a coach and athletic director.
Of course, she gave me my job.
Right, right.
Yes.
So Debbie, and now since Jim has been here, he's done the new floor. We're working on we have our own space in the locker room, like you said, the video board. And people are really trying and working hard to put out a good product, and so it's a lot of great things. It's hard to believe it's 17 years here.
I mean, in the world of head coaching, I mean, that just seems like an anomaly.
That's an eternity, and when I tell people I'm starting my 30th year as a head coach, it's really
Hey, I have to ask you a question, Coach. Did you finally throw away the moving boxes, or do you still have them back? Because I never throw mine away. I'm just always like, I'm gonna get moved somewhere.
No, I have. We have moved houses in South Austin. Some of my players remember helping on that. So no, it is. My daughter's a college graduate now, starting grad school now at St. Ed's.
I watched her play lacrosse.
At Southwestern. You gave the call. She walked on at Southwestern.
Wow.
She scored her first goal of her career. My son's a junior, and they were 6 and 6 months old when we got here, and we feel good about what we have here, and I think it has attracted good local talent.
Easily.
And it's what a great league. It's Dallas Baptist last year. Was
great team.
An inch away from going to the national championship. They had they had 3-pointer at the buzzer to tie it.
I was watching that entire game because I've seen that team so many times. And going against you guys have such great battles, but I know that they always have good talent on hand. That's why you always have to kind of just join that race and have to be able to get that same amount of talent, because that's what this conference is going to come down to. West Texas, you all, Angelo, Lubbock Christian.
And it could go. Midwestern State was terrific last year. And I don't want to slight anybody.
But you never know what's going to happen. You can run into a hot UTPB team. Cameron all of a sudden has Eastern New Mexico, who has kind of had a revolution.
You're giving me heart palpitations.
I'm not trying to. That's why you
St. Mary's was great last year.
St. Mary's, but you guys took them out 3 times in a row. And and we make it sound easy, but that included a buzzer beater, some sort of sequence where you had to get a stop and then a strip and then a score.
You saw all of them. live or on
or streaming.
Flow Sports streaming, and
they appreciate the shout out, Coach.
They're terrific. We. The game here, we weren't even, is the last weekend. We weren't even in the conference tournament yet.
Exactly. I mean, it came down to the very final weekend of the season, and you guys, you as a staff, were able to pull everything together, get the best out of everybody, and everybody just gelled at the right time.
They hung in there and beating St. Mary's here, and then Gavino, what a way to end in San Antonio for him.
In his hometown.
You couldn't write a better script, right?
Wow.
Like, we beat St. Mary's, kind of clinched an NCAA bid. We felt like that
definitely
got
helped
us over the hump a little bit. And then Gavino hits the buzzer shot. I mean, Disney wouldn't believe it, right?
No, they wouldn't.
So,
but we can ask them if they'll pay for the rights. We can use an extra. We can use extra video
stuff.
board. I'm just saying.
We can set up this stuff. Yeah. So but a lot of, and then we battled Dallas Baptist. I mean, we were up, 7-9 at halftime, I believe, and in the semifinals, we were right there with those guys.
Hey, Coach, let me ask you real quick a little bit this upcoming season.
Yeah.
You have a lot of returners. I'm very excited. You got a lot of guys that have a lot of tangibles, like Jamison K, Connor McManus, another guy that had a lot of success. I think he had over 10 points a game last season, if I'm correct. Oh, Mason Courtney had over 10.
Mason Courtney.
Connor McManus led you in three-pointers with 84.
Yes, right.
I know that's going to be key for your success again, because those guys got hot at really key times. And Jamison, man, his all-around game just improved on both ends as the season was closing out last year.
Let's start with our starting wings. Those guys shot mid to upper 40s from the three line in the league, 47 to 49%. Connor McManus and Mason Courtney. They are tough guys. They bring it every day. To have those guys back, I believe started just about every game, played a ton of minutes for us last year. To have those guys back is terrific at the wing. Right, then you add Robert Conrad. We talked a little bit about as a transfer from Trinity, was the all freshman team in the SCAC.
There you go.
So a terrific player that I've known for a long time.
And I will tell you all, because I do cover a lot of the D3, especially that conference. I mean, Trinity is the cream of the crop of that, and they're always dancing. So to get that type of caliber player to move up to this level, they should just be able to kind of fit right in.
Very high academic, as you all know.
Yeah, that is true.
And a very good basketball
athletic school.
team.
Yeah.
And then Jamison, J-Mo probably on the court had to adjust the most without Blake. He was starting at the 5 at the beginning of the year, and if we were there, those scrimmages and those first couple of games, Jamison was probably averaging about 20 points a game. Blake gets hurt, we got to move J-Mo to the 4 and put Big Lou in, and it just, Lou played within, he did great, but he plays within 3 or 4 feet of the basket.
It's a little old school.
And then it kind of changed the dynamic, and J-Mo had to change his game. We had to change our game kind of in midstream, and he did a great job. We're pumped to have him back.
Yeah.
And then we talked about Sam, and you see Wonder and Trayvon got, as freshmen, they also got minutes in some big games last year.
Trayvon played big down the stretch. Wonder also, I know he had some big defensive stops against St. Mary's too, when you needed to give him minutes because of foul trouble that happened to Lewis Rowe, and when he went down with the injury too. And you guys needed the wins on the road, and they stepped up, man.
That International Kingsville,
and those are not easy places to win. Never. Even especially Kingsville. I know how it's always, that game is always close, even when you don't want it to be.
Johnny Estelle and I, him and I could write a book of our,
those are some great battles.
How Johnny and now Omar, his disciple, how Kingsville kind of goes about their business and how they try to be successful, and then you have St. Edwards and how we go about our business to try to be successful. Polar opposite. And then somehow every time we play, it's tied with 3 minutes to go. It's outrageous.
Let me ask you, Coach. They're telling me I got time for one final question, so let's make it the heartfelt one. 17 years right here. You just said, kids were just barely born, essentially, gone through the houses and stuff. As we look back throughout your coaching career, can you give us some other moments that might stand out throughout your tenure? Maybe not the stuff that necessarily happened on the floor, but maybe the relationships that have been forged, or anything else that might be might be carrying that you haven't shared before.
Yeah, and I appreciate that question. When I left my hometown.
Yeah, New York, right?
Yeah, New York, and I left. I was living literally back in my hometown, coaching a junior college, and having a lot of success at Hudson Valley, and everything within my life up to that point was within 60 miles of my hometown.
Wow.
Undergrad, grad, coaching high school, GA, all of that, coming back to junior college, all was within 60 miles of where I grew up. And then we took a leap of faith and said, let's give it a shot, right?
Wow.
And with 2 young kids and my wife,
Yeah,
Stacy, who
that's scary,
I give her a
Coach,
ton of
though.
credit. And we were bad that first year. We tried, we zigged when we should have zagged. We took over a program from Ryan Marks he's a great coach, he's my close friend. And those early days were like, there was a lot of like, what did we make a mistake here? And you look back at those early years of, the early losing seasons and being under 500 the first 3 combined years. And you look back at like that struggle, that process, the work, the sleepless nights, and then these kids that have hung in there and help getting it going, right? There's a lot of frustration and angst early, but they hung in there with me. Debbie Taylor hung in there with me, and now like you mentioned, 18, 19, 20, we're top 10 in the country, 2 in the region, NCAA tournament. We've won 20 games the last several years, a handful of championship games. So we feel really good about it, but that struggle, and like people don't want to, nowadays, I know no one wants to hear like back and on, but the struggle is where you really can feel great about it, and what we've been able to do here at a school where, I have great relationships with our president and VP, and Jim Sarah's working really hard here as our new athletic director. So these things to be able to look back and say, and now, we have an alumni base. I just emailed today about the live stream, and if they're out there, I want to say hello to those guys.
Definitely so.
And it's 80 people on this email thread, and constantly. So I love it here. The years go by fast. It's the only problem with doing what you love is you can't. You're like, I'm 53. Holy cow.
I would have never guessed
Well,
that.
how did that happen? Like, how did that happen? And that's the only down part about doing what you love.
I wish I could do it forever, honestly.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I'm closer to the end now than the beginning. For sure.
Yeah. Now that you mentioned that, let me ask you one more question, real quick, Jesse. But because I was thinking about it this week, because I was like, I've been here for a while. But you're talking about the sleepless nights and like all the struggles that I've never seen. Because I know you didn't get paid for a lot of this stuff when you start off coaching.
Right.
You being here is not a guarantee.
Right.
You think if you went back in time and you got a chance to talk to young Andre Cook. Well, he's trying to wash uniforms, and he's trying to figure out how he's going to eat that night because he's not making anything. What do you think you'd be saying to him nowadays, considering where you're at now?
It can end with Billy Joel. I love Billy Joel.
Yeah.
And one of his songs that became famous later in his career it's Vienna, right? And
Oh,
everybody
great song.
loves Vienna, right? And that song Vienna is about at 25 wanting it so bad, and I gotta keep moving forward, and just I want to win at all costs, and that's kind of what Vienna is about. Slow down, relax, smell the roses around you. That's probably when I was 24, 25. I was go, and then as you get older, things change. I appreciate these great guys that are out here and their families, and if I was telling young Andre Cook, it would be like, hey, slow down, you crazy child, as the song says. But I think it's and now my daughter is these guys' age. I have kids, and you see things a lot differently and with greater perspective as you get older in doing this.
Yeah, I appreciate it a lot more now than I did when I was their age.
Right. We all had I'm gonna be the coach of Kentucky, right?
Yeah,
if you ask
of
me
course.
at 25, I'm gonna be.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you are Rick Pitino here. You're my Rick Pitino coach.
And I appreciate that. We wear our suits on the game days.
Yeah, definitely.
You and I are the last of a dime breed.
Yeah.
But it's.
But it works.
Yeah, and that's so. But now you people would die to have my job.
Yeah.
If I left today, by the end of next week there would be 300 applications.
Easily. You mean to tell me that they get the coach in Austin, Texas?
Right. At St. Edwards and the Lone Star. So I'm very appreciative of that, and I don't take it for granted.
Well, that's always great to hear, Coach, and I know we don't take you for granted either,
you.
And we look forward to.
Likewise, I appreciate you being back.
Thank you,
for
Coach.
another year.
I appreciate
and
it.
our relationship, and you calling our games. I know you really care about the
Oh,
players,
man.
the coaches, and you're very much appreciated.
No, Coach, I appreciate you, and thank you for always letting me feel a part of the team. I mean, you guys don't know, but when I first started here, I had to travel on the road. That was the last time we had announcers travel on the road. but you treated me just like I was part of the team.
Well, you are, and you still are.
Yeah, I still remember making the shot from half court. I think that changed your fortunes. I'm just saying. Just saying.
The whole season turned around at that point.
I still got
the whole career may turn around. At that point.
Maybe. I still got some eligibility left if you need it this season.
Let me tell you what, the way the rules are, we may get you to an NIL deal.
Okay. Well, I mean, I already got the nickname built in, so we're halfway there, right?
We can get you money for that.
Hey, Smashburger might be available. We don't know yet.
Some players, that may be taken somewhere. But.
Hey, if the guy from McNeese State, who was just like the athletic guy,
that's
was able to get
right.
himself something, why not us?
Why not us? We can do it.
All right, Coach. That's our time here.
Yeah,
Good
great
seeing you, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
As
Hope to see
always.
everybody at the games.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Come on out. When's the season start here at home?
Season starts here at home. We are start off in the road in Vancouver in late October, early November. Then the 14th and November 6th exhibition against Ryan Marks.
Yep.
So all the alums come back.
Nice.
And November 8th is homecoming against Houston Tilton.
Okay.
So let's get great crowds for the 6th and the 8th.
I'm looking forward to it, Coach.
Likewise.
All right, man.
Thanks, Justin.
Good seeing you
see
again.
man.